Well, yeah, I've been having some problems with my back and my neck, and really for 3 or 4 months. And I'd been to the doctor and 2 or 3 times, and basically at that time they hadn't done any, MRIs or X-rays or anything, and they felt that it was all muscular. And then on February the 5th, I woke up early that morning. It's about 5. I went to get out of bed, and I couldn't walk. And of course, I got Carol up and called my son, and we got over here and just couldn't make things work. So about 8 o'clock, I guess, they drugged me out to the car, loaded me in the car, and took me to Clopton Clinic, where our doctor was, and went in and saw him, and of course he sent me to the hospital. They run some tests on me, done an MRI, and then later on that day, is really early that night, is when they found out that I had a tumor in my back and tumors in my neck, and it was evident also that I had lesions on my bones, and of course they weren't speculating then on what that was, but they had a feeling that it was some sort of cancer. So there's all different avenues, all different paths that you can take. You know, we come up with all these different alternatives and all this, but the Lord gives you the questions to ask. He's the ultimate resource. So we asked our doctor, we knew another neurosurgeon here in Jonesboro. I asked my doctor to call him and send him what information he had. And, God brought that to us. And Dr. Abraham looked at it, and his immediate response was, take him to Little Rock, And that response, that direction, was all a result of lots of prayer, especially the night before from Carol. She had come home, and you might tell them a little bit about that.
Well, like I said, we needed direction, and God's the one that gives us our direction. So I was on my knees asking him what and where we needed to go. And he gave me Matthew 15:13, and it said that whatever has not been placed there by God will be rooted up. And I knew that God was going to take care of Tim, because the tumors were from God. And so the next morning, Tim and I prayed again, and by that night, we were on our way to Little Rock.
We went to UAMS there in Little Rock. It's actually, they house the Myeloma Institute there. #1 place in the United States for myeloma cancer research and treatment. We got there the night of February the 6th? February the 6th. And about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I guess. And they took us right in. That wasn't the case as we checked in with some of these other cancer facilities. You had to go, and you had to be interviewed and be admitted and things of this sort. We were just taken right in.
And he was also put on as an add-on for surgery. But God put him first, 6:15 in the morning.
Yeah, that next morning. And one of the things that we've learned here recently that I think we should all be aware of is that Our responsibility is to obey the Lord and not worry about the circumstances. Leave those up to Him. Now that's hard to do. That's very difficult to do. But that's really our responsibility here, and that's where your faith really comes in. You know, I couldn't go back to sleep. You know, it takes a while to go back to sleep, and so I'm laying there, and I'm praying and talking to the Lord, and by that time it's about, well, I looked at the clock, and it was about quarter till 4, and you know, I just kept on praying, and then all of a sudden I could just feel the presence of the Lord in the room, and you know, it was just so evident that He was there, and He spoke to me, and He told me, He said, you don't need to concern yourself with this. You're going to be healed. I'm going to take care of this. And that was at 3:52 that morning. I'll never forget it. March the 9th at 3:52 in the morning that the Lord told me that. Now I can tell you, you know, whenever that happens to you, the first thing you want to do is tell somebody. Well, there's not many people up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, Carol's already back to sleep, and I'm not wanting to wake her up, so I'm just laying there and never took another wink. I mean, never went back to sleep that night. And then finally Carol gets up by 5:30, and I share it with her, and we have special time together.
And another thing that we kind of forgot was Tim had been having trouble with his vision. And he couldn't even see that clock. But he could tell me exactly what time he could see that clock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just, that was another big answered prayer.
And you know, my vision really has been much improved.
Yes.
Ever since. I feel that, you know, he just set my mind at ease. I mean, I feel so confident in that experience that I had at 3:52 in the morning that day on March the 9th. And I mean, I couldn't get that anywhere else. Where else can you get that if you're in the situation I'm in? So I feel very confident that the Lord has healed me, that you know, we're going through these therapy sessions that He has planned out for us. He took us to the right hospital, provided us with the right physicians on His behalf.
I mean, we've had some difficult times, but we have joy. I mean, we can laugh and, you know, have our fun, and we've met wonderful Christian people.
Yes.
At the hospital, and the nurses and doctors, they pray for us every morning. Not just Tim and Carol, but their patients. It's a very close family, Christian family, and we have met many good Christians, and they lift us up, and hopefully we lift them up.
One of the things that really stands out to me is that everything that the Lord brings upon you, He also brings you an opportunity. You know, if there's a challenge there's a challenge to you personally, then it's also a challenge for you to speak about Him and what He is doing for you in your life and what He's done for you. And, you know, we're never supposed to back away from that. We're always supposed to be strong and move forward in that and share that with others to bring glory to Him.